in case of Hungary, to develop such a strong economic dependency, primarily on the FDI, as well as some other special features, which are also described in the book. I have to say that this approach of the accumulative state is a really valid interpretation of Hungary's economic background, because it is just shedding light on the dual structure of the economy. Why is Hungary having a dual structure? Why is that a problem, you may ask? We have to say that Hungary is typically that country which is having a relatively incompetent national capital related sector. So the domestic sector has never been able to perform at a high level on global terms, because who are these days the main competitors of Hungary? We may say that, for example, besides our little region, Latin American countries, as well as Southeast Asian economies. These are our main competitors. And on the other hand, we may say that Hungary is struggling with the problem of transnational and multinational companies, because they are also really attracted to the region due to some favorable conditions, for example, related to the taxes. And in such case, we may definitely find a conclusion, or come to a conclusion, that if this economic model is not being changed to another perspective, and if a country is not able to contribute, for example, for export activity with high value-added production, high quality human capital, a really well-functioning educational sector to keep those people who are having all those high skills within the borders of the economy, its dependency is going to proceed in the future. And Gabor has successfully demonstrated all these findings with empirical data, as well as all those interviews and other case studies that he is providing in his book. I would also highlight another important thing. When we are talking about Hungary, we may never forget about the thing that after the dissolution of the Soviet Union, there was a really intense crisis period that lasted for about 5 years. And my personal opinion is that this historical burden is still in the air in Hungary, in case of Hungary. So because capitalism was done without capitalists, as it is indicated. And well, it might sound a bit blurry. However, the country at that moment was economically definitely not ready for implementing a model that was in some way a desirable one. And people, all the economic actors over the years became really disillusioned, and not just with certain features that are related to the country, but definitely they were disillusioned with capitalism as well.
He shows how the national bourgeoisie emerges. That is a fantastic chapter. I haven't seen that sort of chapters in any sort of ethnographic work. I think this is a fantastic methodology. It's a simple but very important methodological innovation. So it enriches the pictures enormously at the same time that you have this new nationalism emerging as a backlash, as a Polanyian backlash among the deindustrialized working classes. You get this neo-nationalist domestic bourgeoisie getting a big mouth and claiming a role for itself. And the two strengthen each other. And then, of course, in the next phase, the working class vote is hijacked. And what they only get back is a symbolism that salvages their soul, that tells them that they're fantastic Hungarians, but that keeps exploiting them on behalf of the national bourgeoisie. Right? And so the new politics is really about, the new left-wing politics must be really about how can we get those deindustrialized working classes, as well as, of course, the younger, more urban working classes, more cosmopolitan working classes, out of the Jobbik and the liberal framework, and realign around a new political, economic, cultural agenda. Now and then, of course, he looks at this accumulative state as the third element in my counting here now of his narrative, where, as Krisztina said, he goes point by point. He shows exactly how Hungary is going down, how people are being exploited, how education is being depleted. Hungary must be the only state in Europe where education is systematically shooting the foot, right? That is fantastic. And so a regime that can sell this as developmental is pretty ridiculous. How can they do it? Same for health. Now, all of that is extremely strong.